Hello, this is Macduff from Administratum. I was watching a Luton video the other day, Luton09. If you're not already watching Luton09 videos, it's a great introduction to Warhammer lore. Highly recommend reading novels, but if all you have is YouTube, that is a really, really good place to start. And I've been following his series about the Emperor for a while, and I think a lot of people are following that series as well. It's really, really good. Highly recommend it. Actually, no, it wasn't the Emperor series. Still recommend it, but I think it was something about the Avenging Sun novels, and basically is like the current state of 40K. And so he made a comment in there about how the date now wrong. They had to kind of like retcon something to make it so that it's not the 42nd millennia. It needs to be the 41st millennium so that it can stay 40K. This problem arises right when Gilliman comes back, which means before we even have Primaris. So that would make it 41K. It would make it the 42nd millennium, which I actually think that might be a good thing. And here's why. Everybody that is disgruntled about the Primaris now have this thing to point to and say, well, that's 41K. I like the 40K setting a lot better. And the 40K setting kind of implies from late 33rd millennium all the way to the 41st millennium and all those stories in between. We could nitpick and talk about the years and all that stuff, but the Primaris coming is an actual huge turning point in the storyline. And a lot of people that complain about the Primaris are, one, complaining about the new models, but also in the back of my mind, anybody that cares about the lore is also complaining about the fact that none of this stuff is going to get revisited. You know, I was really hoping that we would get a whole book series for the Badab War, or Badab War, however you want to say it. And that's probably never going to happen because everything needs to be Primaris now. And when they come out with something that's Firstborn Marine related, it's going to be Horus Heresy. And even if it's not, it's going to be a one-off thing. So if they ever come out with a book about the Badab War, like an actual novel, like a really well-written novel, it's going to be like a one-off thing instead of a full-fledged series. You know, I feel like it could be done in a really good way where it's almost the way that they did First Heretic, Battle for the Abyss, and Betrayal at Calth and Betrayer, where you have these books, the same storyline, but just told from these different perspectives. That would have been really, really good. You know, like that would have been a perfect excuse to come out with a Lamenters novel, which is something fans have been asking for a really, really long time. So I ask again, when Luton says, oh, well, that would make it, 41K, and that GW needed to fix that, so they came up with some sort of lore. Every sort of date that's been marked could be plus or minus 100 years. So basically just kind of forcing it to be vague, just in current setting, quote unquote current setting. And I think that kind of takes a lot out of it. I mean, a huge element to a lot of the books is chapters will start with a date. You know, they'll throw a full on date out there. I mean, there's Alpha Legion books where they throw out a date and a time and a place at the beginning of the chapter, and bringing us to a current setting, a middle of a conversation, whatever it might be. But I say, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with it being 41K? Because I guarantee you there are other people out there that feel the same way I do. So again, I ask, what's so wrong with calling it 41K and starting to normalize the fact that this is something new, something different, and 10th edition just kind of serves for the rule set. But for the setting itself, it's no longer 40K. And that part is obvious to me. it should be more obvious to the company. Let's leave it at that. This is McDuff from Administratum. Thank you for watching. If you like the content, like and subscribe, the usual stuff. I'm going to make some more videos. Good night.